Hello everyone, in this video we will see about multi-threading programming. Under multi-threading programming we will see multi-processing schedule and thread schedule. So we have multi-level queue which is used for scheduling for each and every queue. So we have seen ready queue is proportioned into separate queues. One is foreground and one is background. Foreground is interactive and background is batch. Process permanently in a given queue, like which are all the process will be permanently stored in the given queue. Each queue has its own scheduling algorithm. Foreground always, like most of the foreground process will always take care of round robin method, and background process will take care of first come first serve method. Since background process are all related to operating system, so all the batch commands are executed by operating system, and background process will be all kernel or operating system type. It works on first come first serve basis, and foreground will be on user application kind, so it will make use of round robin method. Scheduling must be done between the queues, so fixed priority scheduling is taken care, where services which is of background will be having higher priority and user may have less, or it may be either of it. There will be possibility of process starvation, where process will be waiting in the queue for longer period of time. So time slicing, each queue gets a certain amount of CPU time which it is scheduled among the process, and 80% of foreground is always round robin method, and 20% of background is first come first serve method. So this is how multi-level queue scheduling is done. Highest priority to lowest priority or scheduling queues are different. So in the highest priority we have system process, then we have interactive process which are interactive between system and the user, interactive editing process, then comes the batch process, then the student process. Always the student process will be the process which are created by users, and system process are the process which are created by operating system, and these other three processes are interacting between these two. Next we have multi-level feedback queue. Like we have seen multi-level queue where the CPU time is divided according to higher priority and lower priority based on two different queues. One is that one end of the queue, highest priority, and the lowest priority queue, and we call it as fixed. We call it as foreground process as well as background process. Next we have multi-level feedback queue where the process can move between the various queues of these structures. We have all these various queues. In these various queues the process can move in between, and the movement of the process, like multi-level feedback queue, scheduler will be following multiple methods, so all the process get equal opportunity to execute. Number of queues are defined. Scheduling algorithm for each and every type of queue is predefined. So according to operating system there will be levels of queues or number of queues which is from foreground, background and interactive level. Scheduling algorithm for those each and every queue will be fixed. Method used to determine when to operate a process is also defined, like methods used to determine when to demode the process should also be defined. Then we have to determine which queue a process will enter when it will go for when the process needs service. So we have a multi-level feedback queue in this format. Let's assume we have Q0, the Q0 which is following round robin, and the time quantum or CPU response time is 8 milliseconds for this quantum, and Q1 which is following round robin method with 16 quantums, and Q2 is following first come first serve. So quantum 8 is our Q0 and quantum 16 is our Q1, and our our first come first serve is our Q2. So here we have these three types of queue, and whenever a new job is entered, which is served as first come first served. When it gains CPU, job receives 8 milliseconds. If it is not finished in 8 milliseconds, it is moved to Q1. So at Q1, if the job is again started in first come first served and receives 16 additional milliseconds. If it still does not complete its permitted or it does not complete its execution, then it is moved to Q2. So based on the amount of time the process is waiting, first whenever it is created, it is moved to Q0 where 8 milliseconds time is given for execution. If at all it is not completed, then it is moved to quantum 16 where Q1 has quantum 16 and 16 milliseconds of time is given for that process. After that, if the program or the process is still needs a time for execution, and if at all the process is primitive, then it is moved to Q2 for first come first serve based execution. Next we have threads scheduling. Distinction between user level and kernel level threads first be made. Like we have to distinguish between what are the user level threads and kernel level threads. When threads supported like multi-threading, threads scheduling should be properly made. Many-to-one and many model threads library scheduling uses user level threads to run on LWP. So known as process connection scope, where user threads are communicating between kernel threads for execution in many-to-one or many-to-many model. Since scheduling computation is within the process, typically done by a priority set by the programs. Kernel thread schedules onto available CPU in system connection space, where competition among all the threads in the system will be done will be happening for acquiring the kernel thread in system contention scope. Pthread scheduling API allows specifying either PCS or SCS, process containment scope or system containment scope, during thread creation. Pthread scope process and Pthread scope system are the two things which allow the Pthread where it falls under, whether it falls under PCS or SCS. This can be limited by the operating systems based on the operating system. Linux and Mac OS always allow Pthread system scope system, and Windows will go for Pthread scope process. So multi-process scheduling, like CPU scheduling, more complex. Like if the CPU is working in a particular system, it is not as simple as we think by scheduling algorithms, but it will be more complex if the CPU is working with multiple jobs. In the same way, if the number of CPUs increases, the execution of CPU, it's a scheduling of one processor itself a hectic task. What if the processor increases? Then the scheduling of multi-processors will become hectic. To solve that, we have homogeneous processors within a multiprocessor. So if it is a homogeneous processor, then it can be worked based on the type of the processor, what they are and what type of function it is using. If it is asymmetric multiprocessing, only one process accesses the system data structure that need for data sharing. If it is asymmetric, each process is self-scheduling, all the process is in common read queue and each has its own private queue for ready process. Difference between asymmetric and symmetric is, in asymmetric the system data in asymmetric, the processor will be using different data structures and different processing. In symmetric, they use all the processors use shelf scheduling, and the processors use common ready queue for execution. Once common ready queue we have, then it will be shared to their private ready queues. So all the type of works will be shared in asymmetric multiprocessing. In symmetric multiprocessing. In asymmetric multiprocessing, it will be like each process is given with its own task. So we have one memory placement algorithm which is used for NUMA and CPU scheduling, where we have, like, if you have a computer with multiple processors, each processor will have its own ready queue which is having fast access. If at all a CPU has to access data from other CPU's memory, then it will be very slow in accessing. So this we call as NUMA and CPU scheduling, where memory which is like access, like if a CPU need to access memory from the other CPU's memory, then it is very slow for accessing it, because it has to get the process, it has to create a process for the next CPU, get the data for it. And getting the data from other CPU's memory is called as affinity. Multiprocess scheduling, we have multiprocessor scheduling, we have load balance. If it is SMP, need to keep all CPU loads for efficiency. In SMP model, all the CPUs will have its own loader and they work efficiently with just load. Load balancing is an attempt to keep workload evenly distributed with all the multiprocessors which are execution. Push migration is like predict task, checks the load on each processor, and if found for push task over from the overloaded CPU to other. Pull migration is like if the processor is overloaded, then you have to fetch the task from that processor is pull the migration. So based on the task or the work which is given to CPU, if at all a single processor is overburdened, then the overburdened process will be removed and will be scheduled or will be shared with the other process which is having lesser task at that period of time. To do that, we have push migration to, if there is a overload, like if we found there is a overload to a CPU, then all the tasks which are pushed can be identified, and pull migration is ideal process to pull waiting tasks from the busy process and give it to the process which is under which is having less load compared to the overloaded processor. Next is multi-core processor. Recent trend of place is like multi-processors core on the same physical chip. Like we will be having a single chip, and that single chip is divided into multiple cores, and each multiple core, a core we can call it as a thread, where single chip can execute multiple threaded operations. So faster, and it is very fast, and it is very less power consumption, because it has only one processor executing with multiple thread or multiple core of execution. So the advantages of your multi-threaded or multi-core processor is it is cheaper compared to multi-processor systems where you have only one process with multiple executions. So this is where multi-threaded or multi-core system work. If you have computer and memory, the threads are like divided into multi-threads, like every computer cycle, it will take one computer cycle and one memory. On the memory, it will start execute. This is what the single thread does. If it is multi-threaded, in the time it will be having a computer cycle and memory stage. For every computer cycle, there will be a memory cycle used in other thread, and for every memory cycle there will be computer cycle used in the opposite thread. So the CPU will not be wasting time in context switching rather than the context switching time, or the time which is used in memory management, memory stall cycle, can be used by other thread for execution. Next one is virtualization and scheduling. Virtualization software schedules multiple guests on a CPU. We know that there is a virtualization where multiple operating systems can be installed on one CPU as a guest operating system. Each guest doing its own task, not knowing it done by its own CPU itself. This can result in poor response time, can affect time of day clock in the guest. This can undo good scheduling algorithm efforts of guests. So I hope you understood the topics. Thank you.